Hello! I have returned! First of all, I'd like to give a big apology for the fact that I've been gone for so long since my last video. Recently, I had moved. I had unfortunately locked myself out of my house, so I just felt easier it'd be just to build a new one from scratch. I couldn't get in. What was I supposed to do? So, as you can tell, I've built myself a new humble abode using my skills in Terraria and Minecraft. I have built the ultimate Vibe Zone. So let's get into the meat of the video, which is Ben 10. Now, to get this started, I fucking love Ben 10. Growing up, I loved that shit. I bought everything, from the action figures, to the toy rust bucket, to the toy Omnitrix. Hell, even those little bath bomb things where you'd put them in water, wait till the next morning, and they'd smell like laundry detergent in the shape of whatever character was on the show. I loved Ben 10, and I still do. So today, I want to look back on Ben 10 Alien Force, which is the movie that is the sequel to Ben 10 Race Against Time. Now, a quick disclaimer, I was actually going to review the first movie, but I decided not to, because I feel like there wasn't really a lot to talk about. I tried it and I really wasn't feeling it, and I just have more to say about this movie than I do about the last one. And also, you guys may think, Anthony, come on, it's low-hanging fruit to talk about this movie that was clearly made for kids back in the day. And to that I say, I am only 3'8", so I can unfortunately only reach low-hanging fruit. So, let's hero time. So the movie starts out with this establishing shot of Bellwood. Then we get to see the classic Ben 10 Alien Force car as it drives by. For the first, minute of this movie, it's just Kevin's car. They show up to this warehouse to do an illegal alien weapons deal, and this is by far the worst illegal weapons deal I have ever seen because no one at all knows what's going on.
You the buyer?
What are you selling?
What is it? You don't know?
You don't know, do you?
So right from the get-go, we're introduced to my favorite character in the entire movie, which is Kevin. Because Kevin in this movie is fucking cool.
Does it fire? Can it blow stuff up? See, this is important information for a prospective buyer.
It's alien technology, man. It's gotta be worth some money. You interested or not?
Just chill.
One thing I love about this scene here is when Kevin says chill, he acts like he was in the defensive position when really he was the one who started getting attitude.
Let me talk to my partners.
Partners? You didn't say anything about partners.
Neither did you.
So for whatever reason, Ben and Gwen aren't in the car waiting with Kevin. They show up behind the corner like Chris Hansen. I don't understand. Why wouldn't they just wait in the car? Like, how long were they waiting there? Did Kevin park outside the warehouse, let them get out, and he drove in?
You're working with him?
Actually, I'm working with her. Kevin doesn't really work, he just stands around flexing his muscles.
Yeah, how about I flex them in your face?
Oh, guys, Kevin's so cool.
What's with you guys? Never met buyers like you before.
You never met anyone like them before because they're not just black market lowlives like you. They're plumbers.
You mean they're gonna pay for this stuff by fixing my toilet?
The plumbers are a secret.
That guy thought it was that good of a joke. I appreciate that the camera cut just to him laughing at that joke. It really adds to the plot.
I learned the same way you did. Ben.
Elena?
No way. Oh, you still remember me. I'm honored.
Hello? Can anyone toss me a clue as to what's going on here?
Even Kevin is confused. He's the voice of us, apparently. Because again, just like me, I have no idea what's going on in this transaction.
I need your help, Ben. It's my father. He's been abducted.
Call the cops.
They can't help. His disappearance is connected with these alien chips.
I'll help you find him, Elena. You're a plumber's kid and a friend.
Am I, Ben? Really? Because life's been pretty hard for the last 3 years, and I don't recall you ever looking us up.
It's a double cross.
A trap, Ben. No, I swear it, I just wanted your help.
So she comes off very aggressively saying, I need your help, dick. But then when everything starts to turn flat and it obviously looks like it's a double cross, she's like,
What would make you think that?
I don't know, maybe it's the fact that you're coming off very aggressively. Why else would we think that? So then the Wasps get out and it's a big thing. Ben's Omnitrix doesn't work because, why not? If there's one thing you love about Ben 10, it's when he doesn't turn into the aliens. What was that flip for? Why was that necessary? Like, you didn't dodge it. Like, if they were coming near you and you did a backflip, then yeah, I would understand, but all you did was do a backflip and throw it. Was that like a power-up move? Why'd you do a flip? Ben grabs one of the chips so they can look back at it and examine it later. Finally, they realize who's fucking controlling all of them, because how could you miss this fucking guy with a trench coat and a hat on up there in broad daylight? How would you miss him? I don't know. And then Ben decides, oh, my watch does finally work. I'm gonna turn into an alien. One thing I will give about this movie is that the graphics actually hold up pretty well. I thought they wouldn't, but they honestly look pretty good. So then we get this awesome CGI fest of magic, aliens, and shooting a giant thing of wasp nests. And Gwen does the goofiest, like, duck for cover I've ever seen. One, that would have missed her anyway. She was far away enough from it. And two, she jumps for cover as if she was to land on her stomach, but in the next shot, Kevin's holding her, where he wasn't there before. So Ben and the gang decide that they're gonna look more into this microchip alien technology bullshit. So what they do is they go back to like the little plumber area, and I love this too because they reference Tony Stark. I also love that line. My money's green like my nickname is celery. Bars! They finally show up in the shop.
You know Benji, all work and no play.
And then they finally show how cool Kevin is again. So then they go down into the elevator into this ridiculous looking cave of technology, but they have like these really long, goofy, curvy monitors. They look into the technology. They end up realizing that these things aren't just technology, they're alive. They're living, organic things that evolve every time you fight them. So basically they're all like, how are we gonna figure out what this alien chip bullshit is? And Ben's all like, let's go ask Elena, the girl who was introduced in the beginning. And Gwen is all like, don't do that. And then we're finally introduced to Uncle Grandpa Max.
That sounds like a pretty good come.
So then they end up getting enemy intrusion alert. And then look who it ends up being, good old Elena. So basically it's revealed that Uncle Grandpa Max, I'm gonna keep calling him that, basically it's revealed that her father and Uncle Grandpa Max were friends, but her father, he ended up stealing alien technology of some sort to figure it out, and Grandpa Max didn't like that, so he says, beat it. And she kind of holds resentment towards that, and all she wants is help to find her father. And Ben is all like, yeah, let's find your father, and Grandpa Max is all like, no, we can't trust this bitch. So they end up kicking her out, and one thing I love is if there's one person to escort anyone out, it's cool guy Kevin. And I love this scene because Kevin, he pushes her to like indicate like, get out of here, but then he ends up raising his hands like he didn't do it, like, oh, I didn't touch you. So Ben's furious. He's like, hey, Grandpa Max, why you being a cock blocker? I'm clearly trying to get some pussy. Why you doing that? Uncle Grandpa Max is all like, fuck that, fuck you, I hate everything.
Pretty good come.
So Ben is all like, you're wrong, I'm gonna go help her anyway. I love this scene because there's like a gazillion shots of them just stopping to talk to one another on their motorcycle. Let's count how many shots. I'll put it in the top right corner. Wasn't that great? So Ben 10 tells her he's gonna help her, and then they go on to their first lead. But before they go on to their first lead, cool guy Kevin is hacking into Uncle Grandpa Max's info because he wants to know more about what's going on. So then we're introduced to this scene, villain in a trench coat talking to himself, and then these two cartoonish goons come in and try to mug him.
You lonely too? Don't you know this is a bad part of town? You shouldn't be out here walking all alone.
Alone. We are not alone. We are never alone.
You worried fool.
We offer you so much more than money.
It reveals that one of this guy's powers is he's able to use the chips to get literally into people's skin, and then they become a slave to his mission. And then we see Ben and Elena go into this building where you can clearly tell the bad guy is up on the 3rd floor because he literally like has a fucking flashlight up to his face like he's telling a goddamn ghost story around a campfire. And then when they walk into the building, one thing that I found hilarious is that they are right next to the villain, and they pass him immediately. They walk by, and then literally right when they're gone, this guy's all like, coast is clear, let's go. Like it's a birthday party. And then they all come out, literally so many people. I don't know how they missed them all. So then they go up into this office where her father was working to fucking figure out what all the chips are doing. And then they look, Ben says your dad was crazy, and she's like, fuck you, no he's not. And then they get ambushed by the mind-controlled goobers that this guy is controlling. And this is like, they are terrible henchmen, because what they do They don't even come at you with a lot of aggression, they just walk towards you, like really boring zombies. They put no effort into chasing these guys at all. Then we get this amazing, underwhelming runaway scene where Ben 10 punches a guy and she throws him over the ledge, clearly killing him. So basically Ben 10 can't turn into an alien when these guys are around because they fuck up the Wi-Fi or they fuck up his reception. It's one of those two. Somehow Ben figures out at the perfect moment that his Omnitrix is a good shockwave attack. It's just been charging up. He somehow just figures that out instantly. And I absolutely love this scene where he picks her up and they drive away because this guy who wasn't even like attacking her like he's one of the mindless drones, Elena just fucking decks in as hard as she possibly can. Even though he wasn't gonna do anything, I just love the fact that she was that angry that she wanted to punch someone on the way out. So they end up getting away and finding out more about her father, basically that he was doing research on this when he maybe shouldn't have. So Cool Guy Kevin and Gwen crack the case, they break into Uncle Max's computer, Uncle Grandpa Max, my apologies, and basically they have this really weird interrogation case between Grandpa Max and the bad guy. And what I don't understand is, I don't know what any of these top things represent. These are the weirdest tabs on a computer I've ever seen in my life. And on the right, you have like this infrared screens. What do those do? What do those contribute to this interrogation? So Kevin ends up figuring out the location of one of the weird chip things, and this is the reward he gets.
You did it!
The cheek. I find all the big, bad alien ships and all I get is a kiss on the cheek.
Well, what was he expecting, like a blowjob? Does he always get rewards like that every time he figures something out? So Kevin and Gwen go into this warehouse where they're all like, oh, they were here, but they're not anymore. And there is actually one joke in this movie that I do like, and obviously it's by Cool Guy Kevin, but it's unironically, I think, pretty funny.
They were here, Kev. We're too late.
Yeah, that's what I get too.
I like that joke. I think it's actually pretty funny. So then they sneak into the office of the warehouse, and then this, like, Jared Fogle vibe looking guy asks them some funny questions.
You will remain. You will join us.
So Cool Guy Kevin isn't having any of the vibes this guy's projecting off. So when he ends up giving him some attitude, this is what Cool Guy Kevin does.
Your desires are irrelevant. The Queen's will supersedes all.
Well, tell your queen to supersede this.
So then they end up going in the car, they're about to escape, and Jared Fogle vibe guy ain't having any of that. He ends up calling a whole thing of wasps. It's realized that the wasps are evolving, they're able to actually make shapes now, they're just not a giant swarm. So then we get this amazing runaway scene, and this is where the graphics to me actually kind of show that they're not that bad. They turn into these gigantic balls that chase them, and this effect where it splits into three, it's not a bad effect, in all honesty. Kevin can't lose him. They end up crashing very badly. And, you know, somehow they're just both alive, because that looked pretty painful. Like, you think you'd get, like, a little bit of a scratch, but no, they're perfectly fine. And Cool Guy Kevin ain't having any of that, because they just messed with his car. And you don't mess with Kevin's car.
I don't know who's behind all this, but they're gonna fix my car!
Guys, Kevin's so cool. So they end up looking like a bunch of dits, not knowing where to look, and then they finally see this giant alien ball come in, and it's got spikes on it. And they're all like, oh, fuck us, what are we gonna do? But luckily, Ben shows up at the perfect time. And again, he actually transforms here, and it actually doesn't look that bad. So him as Humongosaur just plays catch with a bunch of these fucking wasps, ends up destroying all of them, and then he ends up using Kevin's car to destroy him, and Kevin doesn't like it.
Oh no. Don't do what I think you're gonna do.
Those chips aren't mine. I was trying to warn you.
Thanks. I'll consider myself warned.
They're more than just autonomous tech. We found a hive of them at the ship at...
Kevin's so cool! So basically, when they go back to their little auto shop cave thing, it's revealed that the alien chips are reproducing at an exponential rate. It's all over the world. People are talking about them. And then Kevin does this.
In a beehive or an anthill, there's only one queen. She lays all the eggs, produces all the offspring, and tells everybody what to do.
The Science Channel.
So basically it's revealed that there's a queen controlling all of this. So they kill the queen, they kill everything. So Kevin ends up hacking himself into a coma. Ben says, Gwen, you can take a break, I'll continue the hacking. Ben goes up to see Uncle Grandpa Max to see what he's up to, but then, twist! Uncle Grandpa Max has been infected with the thing!
We have to restrain him, but be careful not to... hurt him.
What? He's restrained.
Yeah, I'm cool guy Kevin. Suck my dick. But also, one thing I love about this is that it was just Ben up here, right? Like, Kevin and Gwen were dead asleep. There wasn't even, like, enough time for all of them to wake up and go see what's happening. Max just attacked Ben out of nowhere, but they all suddenly knew. So then now they know Uncle Grandpa Max has been infected. He uses a button under his desk to, like, get all this smoke out, and somehow he just escapes. Even though he's like, I don't know, a 75-year-old man who these four very active teenagers could easily chase. But no, he outruns them somehow. So basically, they cross-reference all of the locations that the alien ships have showed up to, and they cross-reference it to a town in the middle of nowhere, and that's probably where the Hive is hiding. But how are they gonna get there? Cool guy Kevin's car has been destroyed. But luckily, Kevin has another car up his sleeve.
Oh my gosh, Kevin. Beautiful.
She's beautiful. You call the car a she.
And you're right. Don't be jealous.
You got some good qualities too.
Kevin, that was just weird. That wasn't even cool guy Kevin, that was just weird guy Kevin. So they end up driving all the way to Missouri to find out exactly what's going on. And they find out that they're like shipping all of the chips, and in this entire thing, they're controlling all of it, and they're like, oh, we gotta stop it, let's go stop them. So they end up sneaking in and find out the entire operation. So at this point in the movie, it's revealed when he's reproducing all of these fucking chips that basically, he's not the one in control, something else is. He's the one producing it, but it's something inside him that's the bad guy. And for whatever reason, they decide to discuss the problem, like, just right behind where the operation is going. They're not outside the building, they're not on top of it, they're right where everyone can hear them. And it shows because then this happens.
See any other way?
So basically, Ben also figures out that the reason why his watch was glitching out so much is because it was taking in information from the alien race, so then he could become it. Because, you know, Ben 10 turns into aliens, it's kind of his thing.
What?
So then we get this amazing green screen effect, very well done. So Ben ends up turning into a little alien guy and goes up this guy's nose to find out who's exactly in control. So while Ben's in this guy's nose giving him a gigantic migraine, the other team, Elena, cool guy Kevin, and Gwen, decide to fight and hold them off until Ben gets his shit done. But what's so funny about it is that the fight scene is just so goofy. Because for whatever reason, they're not all charging them at once. Like, they're not putting a lot of effort into fighting them. They're just walking around trying to, like, just trying to grope them. I don't know what they're doing, but they take him out very easily because these henchmen don't do worth jack shit. Like, look how close they get to her when she finishes that move. They just stand there, they're like, oh, Derek's been taken out. And then you think cool guy Kevin's gonna get cornered, and you get real scared because you don't want to lose cool guy Kevin, but luckily Kevin's awesome and has absorbing powers, and he blasts them all out of the way. So this guy's having an ultimate brain freeze, he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and Ben 10 finally ends up defeating the main queen villain, Yahoo! And he does it in the most heroic way possible with a totally not cheesy line.
I'm not just any drone. I'm half drone, half human. Drones can adapt. And humans never give up.
So Ben ends up defeating the giant alien queen and everyone goes home happily ever after. The chips are rendered useless and everyone is just confused on why they're in a FedEx warehouse. So they end up walking out of the FedEx building all happy-dappy. They're not going to help any of these people who were just taken from their homes all across America. They're not going to get them back because why would they? They're plumbers, not Uber drivers. Then Uncle Grandpa Max says, hey Ben, I'm going to let you take my job. And Ben just goes, nah.
Ben, what would you say if I asked you to step in?
Well, my first order of business will be to unaccept Max's resignation. Sorry, you're not getting out of it that easy.
Poor Uncle Grandpa Max, man. He is so exhausted by this alien shit. He's like, Ben, please, just take my place. I don't want to do this anymore. So then, what I don't get here is that you only see the kids enter the car, so what do they just leave the villain and Uncle Grandpa Max just by themselves to walk home? So they end up literally driving away into the sunset and they live happily ever after. So there you have it. That's Ben 10 Alien Swarm. In all honesty, I really loved this movie when it first came out, and honestly, I like it now. I know I gave it a lot of shit, that was just for jokes. I actually had a lot of fun rewatching this to like give my opinion on it now, because I love Ben 10. Ben 10 is a very important character in my heart. I'm a 2000s kid, so Ben 10 was the shit for me growing up. And what was cool about this is that looking up the actors who were in this and seeing how much they've changed now, like the kid who plays Ben 10, who was like all kind of skinny in the movie, looks like he could kick the ever-living shit out of me now. The chick who plays Gwen, what threw me off too is that what I didn't notice is that she actually plays Ashley in Until Dawn, which is pretty cool. I'm like, oh cool, she's in that too. Another thing I've seen her in. And she hasn't aged at all. She looks exactly the same, which is awesome. The guy who plays Cool Guy Kevin looks completely different. He doesn't look like cool long guy hair Kevin. Now he's got like a little goatee. He looks like he'd be an artsy-fartsy student, which is kind of cool. I'll put their Instagrams here. You can show them some love. Say, hey, I rewatched Ben 10 with Anthony Finley. He gave his stupid opinion on it, but I liked you in the movie. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, because, you know, YouTube. And be sure to cover your mouth and stay safe. Stay inside unless you absolutely need to go to the grocery store. Just be safe, be considerate, and don't steal all the toilet paper. Come on, have some class. But yeah, that'll be it. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.